Hi guys! Let us know in the comments if you can see us and hear us very well or not so well.
Good evening. Hello from all over the world: Philippines, Mumbai, Germany, India, Indiana.
Oh,
Indiana. Sound down.
Sound down. I don't know how to put sound down here. Well, you entertain people.
All right. Yes, we can hear you well. Perfect. Cape Cod. Oh, love Cape Cod. Israel. Okay. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
We literally 7 minutes ago, I got off the boat from priming. I still have paint all over my hands. Forgot about what a razor means. Anyway, the boat is now 5 coats of primer. The old blue is gone. It looks frighteningly large. Welcome, everybody. Oh, Thailand. Amazing.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
I know that those of you in other parts of the world either have just got home from a club. Well, with COVID, not many clubs going. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I just have to have a little announcement. If you guys want to write us something in the chat, you have to be logged in with your Google account in YouTube. Otherwise, you will not be able to send anything in the chat. So if you can, please log in so we can hear from you. Otherwise, it's just like us talking to a camera.
Right. And also, if you want to write some notes and put comments in later or some other means other than this for those less than techie signed in type people. So I guess we get going. First of all, we set up a private chat with our patrons. And we started out with WhatsApp, but we moved over to Telegram with all of these things going on. So we have effectively been sharing hourly and daily activities with people that hopefully someday we're going to meet. And that's worked out quite well. Thank you, all of you that are part of that.
Thank you for your support, guys.
And I know it's a little challenging getting onto Telegram and getting set up, but it's been working out great. So thank you to our patrons.
Thank you.
How many we have here? 12.
I don't know how many we have here.
Oh.
Let me say hi. Hey, say travel. I have actually your question saved. Hi, Dan. Hi, Jack Keller. Hi. BGD940. How about a hi to Exotic Tucson AZ?
And I didn't know that he was from Minnesota.
Now you remember how to pronounce his name, right?
No.
I'm sorry.
I still say Gile.
Gile. I think it was
Gile. Hey, Gile. Welcome.
I'm sorry.
I'm from northern Wisconsin originally, where this time of year, I forget, I was getting sunburned. Had to have a hat on all day. I forget that it's still cold in most parts of the world.
Chill. See? Chill. It's chill.
Chill. Okay.
Chill. Now well.
2 a.m. here
in Germany. Good night. Good night. Hi, Dominic. Hi, Sailing Misfits. Hi, Guy.
Washington State. Guys.
So we're going to start answering questions?
Yes. We've had a ton of questions in multiple formats, both email, text, on our Telegram channel, and also on our other channel. We have another channel called All Things Boating, where we do technical presentations. Last night we did one live that was pretty, it was about safety on board, and we got a whole lot of people stirred up.
Yeah.
But so we have multiple ways for people to communicate with us. And actually, we do sit down and answer comments. Sometimes I'm a day and a half late. Yana is sometimes a minute and a half late. So, but check out those answers, because we do answer them, but they sometimes go under the video that you asked the question under. So you have to go back to that video. But those questions, some of which we'll cover tonight. And we always answer questions.
And then William is very offended when you guys don't answer him back. He's like, why am I answering questions if they never comment back? So please do say something back to him, so he's encouraged more to answer it.
Well, that's part of why we're here. We're here to share our experiences, share what we're doing, and also help others out in the boating community. We've had I think now 7 different individuals visit us. Thank you for the bottle of wine as well. It's going to a good use. And we've made some really good friends that have come here and have asked for us to assist them in buying boats. And you'd think it's kind of easy to buy a boat. You just have a big checkbook and you fulfill your dream. But there aren't a lot of good boats out there, and you really have to know what you want the boat for. Sometimes people come to me and say, I want to travel around the globe. Well, they've never ever had a boat. So I kind of say different things to different people based on their experiences. But again, those of you that have questions for us, we're always here to answer. And so let's grab into the.
Well, let's grab the first one, and because I have it saved as well. Joel, when are we getting in the water? When are we getting in the water?
Oh, when you mean with the big boat or the little dinghy with the electric motor? The big boat.
That's one of the questions for later.
You know, we started this morning at, I don't know, very, very early on the boat. The more that you sand it and the more that it gets primed, the more I realize that what we do now is going to save us a ton of time and money later on. And I have the resources, the people. I've got the tent set up. So to answer that question, we're going to race as fast as we can, get the hull painted. The bottom is done. We finished that. And then we're going to splash the boat. And then once it's in the water, we have at least 4 to 5 months of work that we can do in the water. It's a lot less cost and no sense leaving it on the hard. We can check systems out when we're in the water. So to answer that question, I had February 1 as a drop dead, fall in our face date to go splash.
Yes.
And we're going to be about 90% ready. But after priming today, I see so many little nicks and dings and scratches. We have to decide where we draw the line. Do we want the boat to look a certain way, or do we want to be here until we're 450, making it look perfect? So
yeah, I think my vote would be for get it done, not as perfect as we would like to, and splash the damn thing.
You want to grab some questions
Sure.
and go along, or you want to take pictures of them and then go back? Or
I'm good, thank you.
I didn't ask if you were good. You're always good.
Wait, hi to Cancri from Panhandle, Florida, avid watcher. Hello. Joel Clark, we answered your question. The Navicula travels. How can anyone make money in boating?
You want to start with that, or should I?
No, you go ahead.
You know, as everyone has heard, a boat is a great big hole in the water that you keep putting money into. We actually stepped out into looking at how to make some money in the boating life or boating community. And there are several ways. There are charters, there are fishing, there are dive trips. There are things that include a lot of different types of people. And now with what's happened with COVID, a lot of people are staying on boats because they don't have to deal with the lobby, check-in, valet, multiple strangers. So boating has turned into a somewhat of a moneymaker for people that are doing short charters and then other people that are just renting the boats out for places to stay. So making money on a boat needs to be a plan, and it needs to be a focus that's around the type of boat. So naturally, different boats make different types of money. You're not going to take a pleasure cruiser out, trawling for fish. So it really comes down to what type of boat that you have or you're going to buy, and then you look secondarily what kind of money you're going to make off it. I would never buy a boat as an investment, and I've had maybe 30 boats. They at the end of the day, unless it's really a huge yacht with a crew, I think making money other ways is probably a better way to look at it.
And that mostly depends on your abilities, like what kind of skills you have. Do you have skills to be living on a boat and do some kind of remote job, or you can be working with your hands like William can, for instance. So you have to gather all your options and maybe make a list and see what you can do, how you can make money, not necessarily in boating, but how you can afford boating. That's probably a better way to put it.
All right. Next.
What? Okay, how many tattoos does he have? I don't know. I have not discovered any yet. Maybe they're in some places that I haven't checked yet.
You know, my father, which is 87 years old, has a couple of tattoos. I somehow have escaped the tattoo era, and now when I look at my lovely wife, I keep thinking, you know what? Maybe something here. I don't know. But my my youngest daughter just got
Couple of them.
her third tattoo.
And I told him, I said, you cannot blame me for that.
So my 18-year-old daughter has
I
now,
hold no responsibility for any of her tattoos.
Well, we won't go into that in detail.
I'm gonna ask one question while you're reading the questions from the live chat. Okay, if it's,
All right.
if it's
So
okay.
with that heavy hull, are you planning to head to the northern or deep south latitudes? I want to visit Patagonia very badly. Okay, I think I'll answer a couple of questions around that. The boat was a special purpose built trawler boat that was then converted into a Motorsailer at the factory. So it had a very small keel originally, and what they did is they kept adding solid bars of steel to the keel until they got the center of gravity to the correct positioning, and then added the two masts. They spent about 6 months, I believe, getting it to properly sail and operate. So it only has a keel that is 5 foot in depth, fully skeg hung rudder protected. So the boat on the lower end is definitely built for travel around the globe or any place you'd really want to go. It has internal insulation. It has heaters off the engine in every single room. Our plan is to spend some time somewhere within the equator area, and then probably through the Panama Canal, and keep going as far as we can go. That's kind of the plan at this point. So North Pole, South Pole, I'm from northern Wisconsin. I've had enough with the cold, the ice, the shoveling, the freezing. I'd rather dodge coconuts than chip ice off the boat. So
let me say hi to William Jared, to Jessica Ryan, Carlos Miletti, RG Adams, and Sea Travel again. Hi. Actually, while you touched a little bit on the added keel, you're listening to me, you're not reading, right?
I'm listening and reading. Luckily, the oldest is 7. I can do both.
Can you? Okay. So Paul Gilliland actually asking you, sir, how much weight have you added, and won't all this additional steel affect your vessel performance characteristic? Because I think a lot of people are concerned with that, with the pilot house design.
Yes, the very good question. Actually, when we were upgrading offshore oil rigs, if we moved one, well, the oil rig was large, but a 10,000-pound generator, if I moved it 5 foot higher on the deck, we had to do the complete load and balance and center of gravity of that vessel, because offshore oil rigs do float. They are boats, and then the platform goes down in location. So to answer that question, the boat originally was designed with a pilot house and a wheelhouse. So the pilot house is the way that we received it. The wheelhouse was not completed because the masts were designed as tabernacles. They would fold down for going through canals in Europe and low bridges. So looking at the type of load and balance that the vessel had, there were close to 30 lead weights that were added in different locations on the boat to compensate for that pilot house not being there. I've removed some things that were on the deck that were quite high. I've modified things. So what I've done effectively is, for every pound I've relocated or taken off, I've added a pound in another location. So I will know a lot more once she goes in the water. There's a way that we looked at the water displacement, and then we could tell what our line of gravity and center line was. So at this point, I don't think anything I've done to the boat is going to change it drastically. It's actually a 50-ton boat, 1,000 gallons of water, 2 500-gallon fuel tanks, 2 100-gallon waste tanks, and those are all part of the hull. So provided the vessel is full of fuel and water, she rides deep and low. So adding 650 pounds above the pilot house really is not, significant at this point. Very good question.
Enjoying the show from Australia, Sean Oaksay. Thank you, Sean. And guys, I see 111 people watching. If you all hit that like button, that really helps the channel to grow. So thank you all so much. Finish painting at my studio, William. Now enjoy your show with my martinis. Oh, I have my wine. Cheers.
Australia.
Finish. Okay. Enjoying your videos, Ellen Lameru, South Australia. Will family be joining you portions of your travels? Chell asking you.
All right. We have, or I have, and now we have a 24-year-old daughter, Tatiana, and an 18-year-old daughter, Angelina. They both, because of COVID, have moved in together. They're both working on different things that we've kind of put our heads together on. They're actually, our oldest daughter, Tatiana, is working on a sailboat, doing the interior, the design work, and they will not be traveling with us. I've raised them since they were tiny little girls, and they know boating, they understand boating. We probably will figure out some way to visit and communicate and connect, but they're onwards to their careers, and we are onward to escaping. So we love them to death. They're part of everything that we do. They're here in the boatyard a lot, but you know, they pretty much said, Dad, it's your time if you want to go off. And as soon as I heard that, I got it in writing. And you know, kind of we're looking at a travel plan where we'll come back maybe for Christmas for a month and then shoot away on our very long distance travels. They both love to fly. They both love to travel. And so for them to come visit us is going to be pretty easy.
Yeah, a lot of you guys ask us in the comments if Yana has sisters, and I've answered that a couple of times, but I have two. I have three. Oh my god! Yeah, I have three sisters, and my oldest after me, I'm the oldest, might join us maybe for a weekend or so, right?
Yeah, for sure, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa.
Sure
yeah, maybe she will. She's 16.
16, and
you all out there.
And
Hands
six,
up.
and 6 foot what?
Yeah, she's a little taller than me, so you can, so you can measure. Peter Eves, my Ukrainian wife think I should sell my 30-ton steel schooner. She calls it a stupid boat. What an insult. Yana, how do I get her to want to live in the boat and travel? Well, I think that some people just don't like it and they will not. But from my Russian roots, and Ukrainians are pretty much similar because of the origin, I'd think try to make it nice. Let her do the interior. Let her bring her nice cushions in there, and don't be such a man, you know. Allow her to do all the inside, and she might like it. Like, tell her that this is her second home or something like that.
My input would be get her involved, get her interested. When we first met and we went off to move the trawler, we hit an island. We almost sank. We had a lot of treacherous adventures, and but Yana was together in all of that, and she helped and she pitched in. And you know, if somebody gets involved in boating, the more they understand, generally the more comfortable they get. It's a lack of comfort, and it's kind of strange now. We mentioned the other day, I said, I don't even know that I'm living on a boat. It's crazy. We got a hotel room about a month ago.
Yeah, about so.
And it felt so strange. The floor was cold. Nothing was moving. You know, so living on a boat is not really that much different. It's just the mindset of what you feel comfortable with. So I'd say get her involved.
Yeah, and I should probably mention that why we got a hotel room. I had like a small meltdown in the car. I was crying, bawling my eyes, saying I'm so tired of this boatyard life. And that it's been a year and it's been very difficult. We didn't take any time off. We didn't take any vacations. We're like from dusk to dawn, from dawn to dusk, whatever. Yeah, and so William said, why didn't you tell me? I said, well, because I didn't want to take your time from the boat, and I felt bad, like asking for 1 day out of the boat. So he was very understandable, and we took a room, and it was very nice.
No,
but I didn't want to and take it again, you know.
It was like, I've had it with this. We never do it. I said, well, what could I do? If I said we went to Lauderdale for a night, would that make it any different? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, so that means that we're going to go to Lauderdale for a night? She's like, Yes. So we booked a room and off we went. But I was pretty happy to be back to the boat. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's good. I just need a little break, you know.
One day every 364 days.
That's fine with me.
Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm going to be in Florida. Appleton. Cool.
Shoot us an email. Hello at
Don-Hunters.
Yes. Jonathan F. Oh my catamaran, I want to install sliding solar panel also. And this is a good topic. I have some questions. Can I use actuators similar to a high-low TV but horizontally mounted? Good or bad idea?
All right. You know, I had quite a few questions about the solar panels, the power rails, the design, etc. And I looked at all different types of actuators. Having an automation company for 15 years, the salt, the weather, the sand, all the things that happen in the exterior of a boat are not really conducive to operating when you need them. And if you look at the complexity of that versus the simplistic slide design of UHMW sliding in stainless track with the track upside down so you don't collect anything. It's kind of like a sliding door on your condominium. It might be a little work to slide it out and latch it in place, but something that I really, really was concerned about is that if and when, not if, when we're in a storm or we hit a squall, I want to make sure that when those panels are locked into place, either in the opening position or the closed position, they're not going to become sails and take off. Not so much I'm concerned about losing a solar panel as I am that solar panel slicing into somebody else's boat. So I would say there are IP65 weatherproof actuators out there, but that long distance to get a solar panel slid to the side, plus solar panels are not very strong. I built frames completely around them to give them additional rigidity. So if you want to shoot me an email, I can give you a lot more pointers on the solar panel sliding system. But another thing that you come into is that when one is covering the other, you have to make sure that they're both facing upwards so that when they open, now you have both panels that are facing the sun. I tried to flip it upside down, but that created more complexity. So I would say go with a good mechanical slide system, and it's going to function for you when you need it to.
And by the way, some people also asked you about the conductivity and what happens with the rain with solar panels.
Yeah, yes. You know, when we would install heavy equipment in the factories, we would run 2 bus bars. Well, if it was 440, we'd run 3, but we'd run a whole length of the factory, large copper bars, and then from there we would hook the transformers and drop those down to the equipment. So all those cables running around the boat when I started looking at having 6 solar panels became a nightmare. And I started looking and say, wait a minute, I've got aluminum rails. They're fully isolated. They're on top of the wheelhouse where someone's not going to have access. So what I did is I utilized those rails as a positive and negative rail on both the port and the starboard side. But I cut the positive rail short, so it's non-accessible. Even if the panel is slid in place or out of the position, you can't reach that positive terminal. Now, a lot of people asked about conductivity. There's 3.5 feet from rail to rail for the whole length, which is 9 feet. And typically when there's clouds or when there's rain, especially rain and storm, the solar panel isn't functioning a lot. It's pretty low. And so the conductivity from those 2 rails across the rooftop in rain, I'll measure the capacitance and the voltage when we get the system hooked up. I do have the ability to run cables, but if I can test and perfect those rail systems, it's far better on not having all these cables and movement, especially when these are sliding. So when you're sliding back and forth, you have to have cable management. So I would say that currently in a cloudy day or in a rain or a thunderstorm, the voltage and the current drops so small it's insignificant. But I hope that answers the questions. More details, shoot me an email.
Yeah, I just put the email in the chat, so you guys, if you want to see that, it's hello@don-hunters.com. Looking Looking pretty, Yana. Wait, let me read my compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, actually amazing.
Thank you, David. And Sea
Wait.
Travel is saying you're too dynamic is inspiring. Yes, thank you. It's quite unusual in the nowadays society, but we enjoy it.
I'm gonna go back to the pretty.
Pretty.
Or yes.
Why is that?
Well, this is the longest that Yana's hair has ever been
In my life, yes.
in her life. Typically, when she's working or doing something, as soon as I hear "oh shit" more than 3 times, she comes back out of the boat with it chopped all to pieces because she doesn't really like long hair. And the other day, she said, "What do you think about my hair?" She said, "If you really love it, I'll leave it. But if you kind of don't love it, I'll get it cut again." And I said, "I love it to death." So, it wasn't an hour later. She was swearing and cursing on the boat because the hair was in her eyes. She couldn't see what she was doing. I said, "How about all those headbands?"
Yeah, you guys probably saw me like holding my hair like that when I was holding the dinghy in the last episode. I was not happy. By the way, I saw, Carl is asking, I've got the same idea as you around the world sail. I'm looking for a boat now. How about comparing steel versus fiberglass? Would you want to venture in that?
Well, we get that all the time. And I picked steel because of being able to weld and modify, because a boat to me is like a Harley Davidson, or it's like a Jeep, or it's like a gun. Everyone gets it and then they want to make it their way. Working in the boatyard, I've probably had about 15 boats that I would build up and flip. Fiberglass boats are amazing, the composite, the structure, but every single boat that comes in the yard, the richest guy here is the guy that paints the boat and the guy that fixes the fiberglass. Every boat, just 5 days ago, I got a call saying, "William, can you please help me? I'm bringing the boat in with sea tow. A jet ski hit me in the side." A jet ski hit his boat, put a hole in the side, and he was coming here under emergency. I came to the marine and helped him at 11 o'clock at night to get the boat hauled out. I can tell you that if a jet ski hits the side of our boat, I'm going to look for the jet ski and I'm going to look for the person. The steel is what we use in the oil rigs. Steel is used on all the commercial rigs, all the commercial boating. It's a pain to deal with the rust. It's a pain to do some of the maintenance work. But we bought this boat to travel the world, and the boat has been in over 7 hurricanes. One of them, the owner picked it up 12 miles later on another island. As long as you don't do something wrong with the steel boat, there's dents all over it from hitting rocks. If you do have a problem and you make a tear on the side of the hull, the past owner said he dove overboard, took his t-shirt off, jammed it in the hole, then 3 months later, hauled it out, and then fixed the hole. So it depends on your use. We're not going anywhere fast. That's kind of our slogan, going nowhere fast. But I prefer steel because of the maintenance, the work, and knowing that we are going to be safe whatever type of weather we encounter. So let's see.
There were a lot of questions about the stern thruster. And BXman53 asked us, will the stern thrusters also be able to power anti-boarding water cannons? Oops, that's not the question, sorry. That was
well, you were looking, I'm going to answer this one. Are you guys going to launch any merchandise, sailing jackets, etc.? Yes, absolutely we are.
We do have a merchandise on the website. It's dawn-hunters.com. I still have to work on it a little bit, but
yeah, we have, about 4 months ago, we got a bunch of shirts that say Dawn Hunters, all kinds of classy and everything else. And once in a while, we'll pull one out and say, should we wear this and go get breakfast somewhere? And they were like, no, we don't want anyone to come up and say anything.
Yeah, we're shy people. You might not think of us that way, but we are.
We get people now visiting in the marina. We have people waving from, we actually have had some amazing people come and say hi and say, we're sorry, we drove close by. We had to come see if we could see you. And it's very strange because we're not that kind of people. We're not those kind of people. So when someone gets out of the car and says, I want to shake your hand, I'm like, well, why? But so yeah, merchandise and some things we definitely we're putting together something. We've had so many people ask Yana, why don't you do dentistry as you're traveling? Why don't you, get little children fix their teeth?
And in the past live, I said something like what I thought, and I said that I don't feel comfortable actually curing people with actual being a dentist and being a doctor. And after that, after the live, I gave it a thought again, and I think we came up with proper, I would say, alternative to that we will share a little later.
You want to share it later?
Yes.
Okay. Great. This is Mrs. Share Everything Later.
I'm in the Keys now from Vero Beach, WL Snow, and you guys have inspired my wife and I to bait a lot. Maybe to boat. Maybe not to bait.
I think both.
Cool. Yeah, boat. Yes. Well, that's cool.
Yes.
That's amazing.
We've inspired.
That's what the channel is for.
Yeah, we inspired a lot of people, and there's a lot of them that actually have sold their houses that have showed up here in a truck and been staying in hotels. One of our good friends now, Randy too, I call him, he had to buy a small motorhome so he had someplace to stay because he's been running around homeless, not finding that right boat. So, and then I have another friend, Steve, that we've just made recently that is packing everything out tonight, selling everything, and he went and looked at his third boat last week. And so I'm happy to inspire people to go after that dream. Do now what you want to do. COVID's been a wake-up call. We take everything for granted, and suddenly you can't go here, you can't go there, you have to wear a mask, you can't do this, you have to do that. Boating is about freedom, and life is really about freedom. So boating gives you the freedom to work your tail off day and night. It does give you the freedom to be self-sufficient. We don't have to worry about water and electricity. And where we are, our home is all self-contained. So next question.
You just don't realize how inspiring it to us, make us want to meet you. Well, Mike, you're welcome to come and meet us. We are right here, not going anywhere for a couple of more months. Hi, guys from New York City. Hey, AT. Next time he teases you, get him back and move his tools and rearrange them. Then just smile and say what?
Yeah, that's always.
That's normal.
I tell her, I can definitely tell she was a dentist, because the dentist comes in and all the tools are laid out. They put the gloves on, they do their little work, and they leave. And then everyone comes and cleans everything up. So that's definitely was how we started, is that my tools have to be all laid out. We put the right grinding stone, get the right cord, get the lights, get everything prepared, and then Yana starts working. So I'm the dental assistant in this relationship.
Huh.
Okay. Now they're saying, send it down, Hunters.
I like his chain with a brush. Where can I get one?
Like what?
Your chain. It's not right now because he was painting.
Chain? Really? The chain that's around my neck?
Yes.
Oh.
Person asks you.
Okay. I had one of those, I've been painting and smelling lacquer thinner all day moments. Yes. That's why I'm so red today. It's not the sun, maybe. Well, a little story is that as a hobby, like I have room for more hobbies, I actually design jewelry and design nautical jewelry. I take different jewelry and put uncut stones. I have a very, very good friend in Sierra Leone. So this is a fish hook that has an uncut diamond in it. My very, very best friend from Sierra Leone, Sheka, which took me out to the mines in the middle of the jungle, took me and showed me and met so many great people. And so these are stones that are not used for anything. They're typically cut up for instruments. And so the different type of jewelry are things that I've designed and made over the years. And it's just something maybe we'll do one day when we're out on the boat.
Yeah, William was thinking this as one of his great business ideas for making money on board. I said, I hope we will find something more substantial than that. Someone asked very good question. Oliver, LiPo4 or lead acid, is it worth it? And before you start, I have to say to you guys that at All Things Boating channel that I told you we started, we actually going to have a live talk this Tuesday because our lithium battery will arrive and we will talk about that the whole hour dedicated to lithium batteries.
Yeah, that's probably the better place. 6 months ago, I was not really sold on lithium. I have spent tons and tons of time researching the Tesla batteries, the Chevy Volt batteries, the various batteries that are out there on the market, BMS battery management systems. We currently have 2 solar cells, a Victron MPPT controller, and I have been testing various lithium batteries. And that's best to do on that technical channel because I'll go more into depth and application. I did do a small review of battery powered tools, which, there's 2 things you're going to remember. One is it's called battery anxiety, and the other is called distance anxiety.
This is actually was not on the battery power tools. Sorry.
That was on the motor.
That was on the outboard motor.
But on anything, whether it's electric motor, a battery powered tool, we were accustomed to old phones and old devices that would die all the time. And that battery anxiety is I'm down to only 1 bar. I have to find a charger. I have to do this. I have to do that. So electric cars, Tesla cars, battery powered tools are getting that anxiety down.
And actually, this is one of the most controversial topics that we found out are out there. Like, aside from our age difference, the most controversial comments we get are on electric things, electric outboard, electric propulsion, electric motor, like anything that direction looks like it stirs a lot of comments. And actually, a lot of people asked you after the last video, and I think we should cover that a little bit because you said originally you wanted to put get home engine the diesel. And a lot of people wrote to you back and said you should stick with the diesel. So what are your thoughts on that? Maybe we should cover that a little bit. And we are reading all your comments, guys, in the chat.
There's a lot of questions popping up there.
So okay.
Right. So the I had purchased a little 40-horse diesel motor as a get-home engine. In the event something all went wrong, I could just attach a double roller chain or a pair of Harley belts and have that drive the shaft. The way the boat's designed is with the 22.5-inch prop and the type of shaft we have in transmission, I can easily adapt a secondary propulsion system. But in the research of the Chevy Volt and the Tesla technology and actually looking at the regeneration power available, I've decided to scrap the additional diesel. And
it's already sold.
It's going to a Durbic. That's hull number 2.
Yes.
So what I'll be doing is I'll be adding an electrical water-cooled motor, an AC phase motor system. So the prop under sail will have enough power to then convert that into regeneration for charging the lithium batteries. So effectively, we will have the electrical engine that will be freewheeling. It will be able to run the shaft at about 3 knots off of our generator. So we'll have the lithium battery bank. The little small 7 kVA generator can then run the boat at 3 knots. So with a bit of wind, we can motor sail utilizing electric. And what that means is the prop must turn the same amount of water that's traveling past the boat when the full sails are up in order for it to properly motor sail. I'll do a lot more technical presentations on that coming up in the next 30 days.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe to the other channel so you don't miss all those talks. So David is saying I have 4 lithium. It's the only way to go. Then Gary's saying I hear that they're more stable for marine and maximum drainage. And Cancri is saying I built my own lithium battery bank for my house. Use Nissan Leaf cells. It's bulletproof. Love it. Highly recommend.
So let's just quickly just touch that a little bit.
Then the last one on the lithium is from David. Rumor has that lithium can be coupled with lead acid. Is that true? So that is all for lithium from comments.
Yes. Okay. The system that we have designed for the boat it's a combination. I use lead acid AGM batteries for the cranking and starting battery on the motor and on the generator. And then I have lithium for the house systems. And what I've done is hooked up a relay system that once the lithiums are fully charged with solar, then the relay will switch over and it then heats the water on our boat. So we're not wasting that energy. I find in South Florida, by noon, our batteries are fully charged and all that energy is just going away. And I'm like, now I need to do something with it. So definitely the lithium, what's very important, and then we'll move on because it's a lot of technical background on this, but lithium holds its voltage. So if you've got a 12-volt lithium battery, it'll hold 12 volts all the way down to 40% of charge. Now, where that comes in is the old E over I times R. That means that if you have a lead acid battery, as it starts to discharge, it goes from 12 volts to 11 to 10. As that voltage is going down, the current draw goes up. So now suddenly your battery starts falling off really fast and your voltage starts to drop. So with lithium, it holds that voltage. And then the most important factor here is in order to charge lithium, they can take just about anything that you can give them. So it can charge very fast if you've got the charging station. Now, the last issue, mixing lithium with lead acid, that's not that difficult. The old way is that you have a switching system so that you then can utilize the separate lead acid and the lithium based on two different charges. What's important with lithium is that it has a battery management system. If one cell runs away and gets hot, you're going to have possible trouble. So it shuts those down. So there's a way to couple them. I have that. And once again, let's cover that in an email. So
not email, on the live tech talk on
Okay.
Tuesday. This Tuesday, guys. Okay, I have to say hi to multiple people here. So Andrew is saying hi from New Zealand. Hello, Andrew. Then someone is Phil, our patron, saying hi, Phil. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Phil.
Joel is asking, can your beautiful wife, I assume this is me, handle the boat by herself? Thank you for the compliment, Joel. Or Joel. I hope one day I will. That's why we are adding the stern thruster.
Yes, yes. Handling the boat, Yana has no problem. When we're out in the ocean, we're 3 miles out. She has driven the 50-foot trawler many, many times. Normally she has to hit me over the head because I just hate letting go of the wheel. But handling the boat will not be that much of an issue. It's just 50 tons of steel moving in wind and current with the manually operated rudder utilizing the steering. It's a chain drive system. So I have added a stern thruster and we have the hydraulic bow thruster. So at least then in the event that we are getting in a little bit of trouble, Yana can utilize the stern and bow thruster to kind of get the boat where it needs to go. It has a full keel and with 50 tons, it doesn't listen very well. I'm talking about the boat.
Also, a couple of people asked about the wind generator.
I did a lot of research. The back dinghy davit system that I designed has 2 upright poles. They're 4 inches in diameter, and those were for a wind generator on each one. But after looking at wind generators here and researching them, the output of a wind generator as compared to solar is quite small. Maybe all the way up to 200, 260, and that's dependent on the winds. And every single generator that I've looked at, even though they're a lot quieter, they do produce some type of noise and hum. And, I've decided that regeneration power connected to the shaft is easily maintained. And there is a generator system that you can throw the cable overboard. And now as you're sailing, that will turn a generator that's on deck. So probably not going to do any wind generation.
Also, Phil is asking, you're right about the difference in battery type capabilities. Lead acid being able to do the heavy draw that lithium can't. You'd likely cause internal damage due to internal resistance or resistance.
Well, the other thing that's important is we're not sure where we're going to end up at as we're going where we're not sure we're going to be. So what that means is that I don't want to change the wiring so much that we can't use lead acid. I mean, I can be in Dominica, in Haiti, I can be anywhere in the world, and I can buy a tractor battery off of a farmer and get the boat going. But where are you going to get lithium? Where are you going to get a controller? Where are you going to get an inverter? So there's a lot of things that you have to look at if you're going truly around the world or off the grid, that you definitely should have redundancy. And lithium is expanding. The best still is water cooled, but you better have a Keel cooler if you're having water cooled batteries.
PhD 940. Obviously, you don't recognize me as one of your patrons. What a horrible thing. Well, we recognize most of the people by their name, not their nicknames. So I'm sorry that we missed you. Please repeat any of your questions in the chat. We will answer that.
And thank you for calling that out.
Yes, thank you so much. Greetings from White Rock, British Columbia. I love to learn from you both. Great channel. Okay. Thank you, Christopher. Mike. What do you use to protect the steel hull from the corrosion? Electricity.
Okay. That actually, there's a couple of questions because people see me welding a lot of stainless steel or attaching a lot of stainless steel onto a steel boat. The boat that we have is not your common steel. It's the steel that we use in the oil rig industry. It's the steel that's used in Holland for oil tanks, tankers, and for the oil industry. So it's a very high chromium content with a pretty high nickel content. So it's somewhere around the 300 series of stainless that we have on our boat. We can take a piece of steel, polish it, and it won't rust, provided it's polished. So I'm currently using a 309L welding rod to attach the stainless to the steel hull. If it's steel to steel, we're using the 718 welding rod. So the 309 is a combination. Everything that I'm putting on the boat is welded. And I don't mean stitch welded. It's continuously welded. So anything that has been added or modified has a continuous weld around it. A, so we don't have salt water getting in between the joints. And B, I now have made an electrical conductive item part of the steel hull. So it's what we did in the rig industry, and then we coat everything with a Rust Lock 6980. After Rust Lock 6980, then All Grip 2-part epoxy primer, 2 coats, sand, and another coat, and then finally either the top coat or the bottom paint. So we isolate the steel from the salt water. But Yana's question today, she's like, as she was out there sanding and masking, she says, how long do you think before we have to start fixing rust spots again?
Well, I think I've answered my own question. I think it's not going to be long.
No.
Chell is asking 12 volt, 24 volt, or 48 volt system.
Definitely 24 volt. The ship was wired for 12 and 24, and it's 200, 208, and 220. The 24 volt means that we can run much smaller cables. It's the reason why the boat, when it was built to commercial standards, is 24 volt. The 48 has become somewhat of a standard in the, I would say, in the lithium industry, but 24 is still robust. It lets you reduce the cabling. And so I've stuck with 24. For the electric motor, that's not going to be a 24. That's going to be a grid system that's probably somewhere around over the 90s. It depends. It's a phase inverter. So I haven't quite decided on that yet.
And while Adam is asking, and you can be thinking, still hanging on under sail speed while using prop chaff regeneration. I get it, it's heavy boat, but what are you thinking? And while you're thinking, I have to say hi to BG Drone. Hello from Coca, and to Stone 3 Kills 3R. Hi from Brian in South Australia.
Oh,
love watching. Cool. Hi, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And all of you too, and 212 people. put that like button. It really helps us.
All right. So to answer that question, you know, I have over 5,000 servo systems around the globe in packaging and automation machines. And 15 years ago, I was told you cannot use a servo in that piece of equipment. Well, I love when I hear I can't do something. So I not only developed it and perfected it, but the company that I had resigned from then started buying it from us. So I look at the current technology that's available, and no more DC motors, no more DC motors that have brushes. The AC vector drives, as they convert over, you have a brushless motor with a very high torque curve at very low RPM. So without getting too technical, the 22-inch prop on the back of our boat with a 3-inch prop shaft running to the inner engine room gives us a very strong advantage that when we are under sail, that prop either is moving at the same RPM. So motor sailing is an 800 RPM venture with this boat. If we have the right winds and we shut the motor down, the boat's going to slow down, because as we're hitting waves and as we're hitting different winds and so forth, the boat actually does best at idle motor sailing. So the electrical regenerative motor will be connected to the shaft, and based on our speed and our sail plan, I'll then be able to dial in what amount of time that could be sending voltage and power back to the motors and what amount of time that would be required for sailing. So, you know, like in the cars, when you put the gas down, it drains from the battery, and you let up, it's putting it back in the battery. That's what we're talking about on regenerative systems.
And also, as you mentioned about our range, what is your expected sail duration without needing a port? What is your longest planned trip? Christopher is asking, because it kind of relates to this.
All right. Well, without sails, we have a 3,400 nautical mile range based at 7 knots. If we want to do 4 knots, naturally our nautical range goes up exponentially. That's without any sail plan whatsoever. With the sails, then naturally that range is increased. Now, by utilizing solar and the generator, the solar and the generator combined around the equator will keep the battery bank charged enough to be able to motor sail even further distances. So what I'm hoping to achieve is a test system. I've been asked to design multiple systems for the Beneteau 32 and for the Hunter 40 range electric motors. And so as I've been designing that here for the last 6 months, I'm now utilizing some of that automotive technology and bring it into the boating world. And I'll let you know, part of our voyage is going to be test, cry, test, cry, but we will get there.
Yeah, we're still thinking of the angle that we want to bring you when we are actually sailing, and maybe you guys can actually help us with that. Tell us, what would you like us to show you when we are sailing, because we are still looking at that, because it's going to be quite a switch for our channel from Boatyard series to sailing. We don't want to bore you with me frying omelets in the galley. So please let us know what you would be interested in watching weekly, basically, that in the comments here, or send us an email. That would really help us. The Navikilo Traveler subscribed. Hey, you were not subscribed yet? How dare you? Oh my God. Hello from New Zealand, Earl, Barry. Oh, by the way, hello from Michigan. Hello, Christopher. Fantastic. We will be watching. Thanks.
Okay. There was one question.
Yes, there
was one question. What's the largest diamond that was uncut? You know, I was setting up oil rigs in Sierra Leone, and I met amazing people there. I mean, I still have my best 2 friends of my friends are there. We talk at least once a week. And when I was setting up the hospitals and I was bringing sterile gloves to the hospitals and sutures, they had nothing. And I said I would like to see a real diamond mine. So 7 hours later, in the middle of the jungle, many children, it was the first time they ever saw a white guy. And they were really afraid. They were hiding behind trees, and suddenly they came out. So I got to meet the chief of the tribe that was in the middle of Sierra Leone, Africa. He turned out he was an accountant in Washington, D.C. His brother died, so he came back to the tribe to run the tribe. And I made some very good friends. So I had said, I'll buy the diamonds that have no value. They are typically just sent away for instruments. And I said, I'll buy them and I'll start putting those in jewelry, because it's a shame to cut up something so beautiful and something that took so long to dig and to find. So I guess the largest one was about 6 carats. Now, if you cut it up, you'd maybe get a quarter of a carat out of it, because there's a lot of inclusions. It's not really cuttable. When I first showed Yana the stone, she said nothing. She says, wow, that's really beautiful. And as a surprise, I put the stone in the hook. I gave her the hook as her first present, and then as a surprise, I put the stone in the hook.
Yeah, this is the stone. When I saw it, I did see the stone, and I didn't say anything. I didn't want to say I really like the stone, because I didn't know, because he said it's my first diamond and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. And I didn't want to say, hey, I really like it. So when he actually presented me a hook, and when you are together for 2 years, you already don't expect anything surprising on present wise, and you don't even want anything. So when I saw that diamond, uncut diamond there, which I fell in love for the first sight, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I had tears in my eyes. I'm still tearing up even thinking it.
So I never knew she never let on that she liked it. I mean, she just said, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, I did.
It's your first. I said, yeah, it's the first one. It's been riding around with me forever. And so, I'm
Russians supposed to be very good in hiding their emotions.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, supposed to be. By the way, Phil is saying that we're not going to bore them at all on the sunny places, and other people also saying that as far as I'm frying omelets with statues, that's fine.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Show everything from recipes to angles of sailing daily. Leave aboard. Do what is in heart of what you want. Most of us will be here.
Greetings from Norway.
And I had here a question. What is your plan to deal with lightning strikes? From David. That's a very serious topic, actually.
I get struck with lightning at least once a week.
That's a pretty good one. Okay.
Lightning strikes. Interesting enough, there's been maybe 6 boats here that were struck with lightning. One was struck twice. It actually blew the mast to pieces. And then one boat hit a power line, and it sheared the mast about 10 foot below. And the guy still has it here in his cabinet of artifacts. The steel boat, we were struck multiple times a month on the oil rigs. And the beautiful thing about steel is that it is completely and electrically grounded, which means the mast is connected to the hull is connected to the everything in the water, but the systems are not connected to the ground. The boat has a floating negative and a floating positive. And what that means is that other boats, you have lightning arresters, you have wires, you have different things. My best protection for lightning is that I have an iPad, I have a Garmin, I have a GPS puck, and I have some other things that sit inside of a metal box that are never connected. So when we get struck by lightning, then I'll know what's going on. I also have a spare inverter that is not online, because the boats get struck by lightning here. There's no controlling lightning. So, I would say that having steel does give us somewhat of an advantage, is that it is a complete conductor. And the disadvantage might be that, we're the only thing out there in the middle of a lightning storm.
Rod is asking, does it cost more to keep a boat on the hard or in the water? Here, at least.
Well, that I was going to say, that depends where you're at, and it depends what you're doing.
True.
It's cost us a ton of money to have the boat on the hard, and but at the same time, what I've managed to do is to do boat work in the yard. So we have 6 or 7 boats that we've fixed, that we've done special work to, special fabrication, replacing rudders, designing electrical systems. I'm managing a boat right now. It's a 1971 31-foot Bertram, and we're doing everything from teak decks to, I mean, everything to the boat. So fortunately, I've been able to kind of balance the cost of working on our boat with some of the yard jobs that are here. And the good news is that if you know what you're doing around boats, work comes to you very fast. The bad news is you never get done with your own project. So my admiral manager here always keeps me in check with that. So
also, RG Adams is asking, he's saying that he has a 50-year anniversary come up in May, and he needs to do it right. She likes diamond. Do you have one that you think she would like?
Another one of those email questions.
Yes, send us an email, and you will see.
You know, I should also point out is that when it's nautical, or when it's something that's even stones, there are so many beautiful stones that come from Brazil and come from Colombia and come from around the world. Once they get cut and once they get, I guess, commercialized, sure, they take on a different meaning. But to me, I think something, it may be in boating, having it be untouched is pretty interesting to me.
Jessica is asking, how far are you willing to travel around the world, and what would be the furthest place you would go to? And with this question, a couple of people in the chat before asked us if we are about to take a cruise with us with some volunteers.
That's your crew.
Can she cook?
Well,
we was thinking to kidnap our favorite chef from a restaurant and chain him into the engine room.
Our plan is, really, we don't have a real plan. The furthest, we both have agreed that we want to end up somewhere in Malaysia.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to Thailand and to that kind of stuff, because I believe that the life there is much cheaper and the food is good, and very much. I was there as a tourist, but I'd love to see more there that way.
And taking a boat like this, which it is a Motorsailer, it does not sail very well. It motor sails amazingly well. So, you know, jumping out of the Panama Canal and going that direction, as far as weather and distance and all the other things combined, I've worked a lot in Europe. I've spent over 2 million miles in the air installing and teaching on automated equipment. So, you know, that's kind of where we both have an interest in. And that's, if we can get there, that would be the first really good goal. But along the way, that's where it's going to be fun. And, you know, taking the Harley to Sturgis, when you get there, you say, this is it. But the ride there and back is the venture. So that's what we both agreed.
Tyrone also asked, where would you guys like to go on the boat? You will have an expedition class boat. Hi, Tyrone. Great comments always. Yeah, as we said, we'd like to go somewhere far because we both very, very well-traveled people. So we are not very much excited about a lot of places.
Yeah, we were going to go up to Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and then come back down again on the East Coast just to shake everything out. And then from there take off. We have a project actually in the Abacos on a private island to do some reef ball burial things. So we're going to be there for a couple of months. But I think we're going to skip going up the coast of Maine. I think we're going to just get on our way and get going somewhere.
Yeah, probably. So Dean says, our plan is we have no plan. And this is exactly right.
Our plan is to get the boat in the water and running under its own power without oars.
What was the original plan anyway? It was supposed to be done in last January.
Yeah.
Class saying, so when is this big adventure starting? What is the plan? Well, there is no plan, but we are planning on what month?
March, April.
March, April, we are planning to depart to the Neverlands. Going nowhere fast. Exactly, Oliver. Come to Europe. Maybe one day, but not right away. Not right away. It's a little expensive there, and we will try and conserve our funds as much as possible.
Now, that was a question many people have asked, and we've researched a lot. It's like, what are you going to do for food, gas, and so forth? You know, provided that I'm still able and healthy and well, wherever we stop, whether it's a marina or another boat, we will have the welder on board, the plasma cutter on board. I've got my oscilloscopes. I'm really automation electronics engineer. The welding has just been a hobby of mine. So I have a weld shop, but I'm really not a welder. So I've become one.
Yeah, I have to add, honestly, this is a very concerning topic because me and William constantly discussing it. And as he said, provide everything is fine with him. But if he breaks an arm, as I always say, or a leg, I will have to go and find something. And I can't really do any remote job because all my skills aside from dentistry are like videography and all of that. They require internet. So that is probably out of the picture if we are in the remote location. So it's probably going to be me waitressing the tables, which is like the last thing I really want to do. But if I have to, I will. And that's going to be for now.
What?
We are looking at possible stream of incomes that we can leave here and that will bring some crumbs as when we are traveling. But how long will they last? We don't know because we don't have really any estate.
That's the reason why also Yana started and we started the other channel, because we decided that this vlog should be a vlog. It should be what we're doing. It shouldn't be highly technical. It shouldn't be, engineering and so forth. It should be what we're doing and how we do it. So the other channel is marketing, reviews, specialized items, and all my tech talks. Yesterday I did a one on protection on your boat, and different things like pepper guns and so forth. So
yes,
we're hoping the other channel.
Yeah, we hope the other channel, because with this channel, unfortunately, we don't see a lot of ways of making this channel work, like money-wise. This is like a dream.
We got kicked off.
Well, yeah, but this is not even the point. The point is, if this channel, if you guys can support the internet connection, then we will keep producing videos while we're in the remote locations, because probably our budget will not allow spending $600 per internet a month. I don't think so. We will see. But at this point, I don't know. I don't think so. We might have to keep just one channel going with like technical talks.
The interesting thing is, you all know that have boats, God hasn't given anybody the rights to have a plan.
Yeah.
So if you wake up the next day, that's a great day. So we're both from the same type of spirit that we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to catch fish and sell them for a living, because we can't catch a fish to save our life. But I would have to break both arms and both legs. And even if my mouth can still work, I can typically find some way to make a living. Now, this question is very good. Is William, what will you do on a three-week passage with nothing to do? Well, I get that from all my friends. We're going to be pulling a barge behind with all my shop equipment, but not really. The boat has been designed. We're in the front cabin. We have an office. We have a laboratory. I'm going to be doing some building of some custom boards for the electrical boating industry, servo boards. And I've always, I was a paramedic for quite a while, and I've always wanted to design prosthesis. I always wanted to design an arm or leg for someone that had lost one. So what I'm doing is I'm building up the lab for some small pieces of jewelry, building prosthesis arms or hands or something from that area. So I'll have plenty to do aside from keeping my wife happy and keeping the boat floating.
Abada is saying, never think of coming this way, Malaysia, Thailand. After Corona, this place changed so much. I'm stuck here in Malaysia for more than 1 year. Well, tell us in the comments what changed. I never thought of this. We should want to take a consideration. Definitely looking forward to whenever you travel, Dean. It's the journey more than the destination. And this is exactly true. David is saying your skills are awesome. 3D printer would be useful, Jonathan says, and we agree. We were thinking of that as well.
There was a question a ways back that it just popped in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you learn how to weld? I'm teaching Yana now how to weld, because my plan is that I'm going to fall and hurt myself, and then Yana's going to start welding for money. That's a great income, especially in marinas. I bought a Miller welder. That's a MIG, TIG, and it has pulse. And I fought with that damn thing for what? Maybe a month, nights.
Yeah.
I kept welding and welding, and I kept watching YouTube videos, and I'd go back and weld, and I'd watch YouTube videos and go back and weld. I used to stick weld when I was little and young, and I said, you know what? I've got to learn how to TIG. Well, after multiple videos and after ordering the right parts on Amazon and tuning that welder, I finally got a perfect multicolored weld. And I was like jumping up and down. I can weld. And then I tried doing it on the boat upside down. It looked like crap. Well, after practicing and using the welder and getting the right equipment, it's amazing. You buy a welder and they don't really give you what you need to weld. They just give you a starter. So after tuning it and getting it set up, I now, just the other day, the heavy lift broke. The 80-ton heavy lift broke, and they came over and said, help, we need you to weld some bolts, some nuts, and we have to put the heavy lift together. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to be responsible for this heavy lift. And, I can weld anything now, and I can be confident what I'm welding is going to be strong and going to last. So those of you that have an interest in welding, get the machine. Right now, you can go to Harbor Freight and get a little tiny inductor machine. They're light, and you can do an amazing job of welding. So YouTube to the rescue, and you can become a great welder.
T007 T off saying, you could be the dentist on the dock. Funny enough, someone commented me like 2 weeks ago in one of the episodes, and I had the beautiful conversation. The guy was saying to me that because I don't have a license in the USA, I can't call myself a doctor. What do you guys think of that? Guess what I've answered to him? The truth is, legally, I can't practice dentistry. Unless I want to be creative and be creative. Barry, there is actually a metal 3D printer out there now. Mm-hmm. We heard that. You remember when we were researching?
I've researched it when we were designing and making COVID masks. As an emergency, they asked me to make some masks for a hospital, and I was using 3D printed masks and fitting and facial recognition, and we got really deep into it. And then finally, when we contacted the hospital, they said the mask is great, but we don't want it because we'd have to buy thousands of them. So 3D printing is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been 1 hour 11 minutes. There are 227 people watching. I see. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching and comments. If you have anything yet to ask, please write it right now in the comment section so we can answer that before we go.
And let's ask if we go 15 more minutes, because a lot of people can't comment.
Yes. So smash the like button. If we get to 200 likes, we're going to do 15
more minutes.
15 more minutes. Waiting. But there was someone actually asking again.
Here they come now. That one.
Yes, I know that. Thank you. But someone actually asked if we want to take anyone else but the furry creature with us. I think this is like a serious question you want to address.
The boat has been designed for 2 people. It's kind of strange with the size of it. But we did turn a large portion of the boat into a place for the tools, the welders, the equipment, the front for the gas so it's not dangerous. And we have our laboratory in the front. So we could have people on board for short periods of time. But, what we decided to do for the start is we'll meet people at different destinations. When we tell you what we kind of came up with the dentistry twist, it would be cool to set meetings at different locations, and that's what we decided to do. Is we're going to be here at this date, we're going to be over there at this date, and willing that the boat gets there, it's going to kind of be meetups as opposed to voyages.
Well, we also should mention that we already said that, but we are transferring our front VIP into. There were 2 beds, but we are transferring them in the office space because William wants to work on the things that he explained, and so there will be no sleeping area there. So the only thing, if you guys can sleep in the hammock outside or bed, well, we'll see.
Crow's nest.
For now, we don't plan on that, but the time do change, and
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah.
So
for now, no. It's not a cat, by the way. It's a mouse.
The
197. Come on, guys. You don't want to listen to us for 15 more minutes?
Oh, wait.
3 more people.
Where's the glass of wine?
I already did while you were talking.
Oh. So one of the questions, have I ever tried to...
200. Yes. 15 more minutes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, that means they want to watch us.
Great. So have you tried plastic welding? The company that I had previous that was both automation and metal detection and packaging for food. We utilized plastic welders for all the funnels because when we installed a metal detector, we would look for metal inside of food instead of throwing it away. And everything had to be plastic around the metal detection system. So we perfected welding UHMW and HDPE. It utilized gas, utilized hot blowguns, and we utilized the welding rods. So actually, yes, we built about 7,000 plastic funnels, and they're in every single Frito-Lay General Mills plant around the globe. When you're eating that bag of potato chips, the reason why there's not any metal in there is because it's dropping through a metal detector. I wish I would have known back then to, I've got a couple patents, but I should have known to patent and then collect nickels along the line rather than selling things and going through what I did. So for those of you out there that are younger, when you come up with an idea, try to protect it, or definitely like in the software or some way copyright it. Spend a little bit of time and energy to protect your ideas, because you never know, 15, 20 years later, they might bring you a couple of nickels along the way. So, all right, will we see William in a bikini?
David, you dirty man.
I've seen that 3 times. Now, hopefully it's David doing the same question, So.
I hope it's not a high demand.
we were talking about making money while traveling, not scaring people away, So,
that's a good one. I like that one.
It's great self-defense.
Yeah.
If we get someone coming near us that I don't like, I'm going to jump on the deck with a bottoms on, not tops. So
someone is asking, is your boat a Bruce Roberts? Adam asked. And one more guy said that he has the same boat, and he's the same Holland boat that ours. I've lost this one, but
so you want me to answer where you're
yes.
looking? Right.
Oh, class. Well, when you come to Netherlands, I will definitely say hello. I have a similar boat you guys have with lots of spares and experience.
Excellent.
We like spares.
Yeah. This boat was built by DeVries Fedship, and DeVries Fedship were joined, and DeVries evolved from a lot of the commercial building of boats, and then they split. So the boat was built in Holland. It was hull number 2. There are only 2 boats like this in the world, and the other one is not a Motorsailer. So the boat was built in Holland. The teak is all original. The doors are 1.5-inch solid teak. The interior is amazing. It's one thing that we really haven't touched, and we don't have to touch.
We hope not to touch. You guys saw me in the bathroom. That the way the portholes are leaking, and it made quite a disaster around portholes from inside.
So the boat is and was built to commercial standards. It's why a lot of these systems on the boat are built for commercial use, and they are not what you'd find on a typical boat. I love steel boats. I love steel in the water. And we stepped on this boat. Everyone else would take their shoes off and step on the cold steel, and they would run. And we stepped on, and we both said, great, no soft deck, strong, solid boat. So she is built with the actual fuel and water tanks as part of the hull. She's built with double the stringers that a typical boat would have. And the steel, as I stated earlier, is a very high chromium, strong steel. We found a lot of dents under the hull when we were doing the work on the boat. We said, wow, he said he hit several rocks and several things, but we never realized that, you can dent it and it really doesn't bother much. So the boat is a 1985 DeVry. It's 55 foot. It's 48 ton, and that's without the 1,000 gallons of water and fuel and tankage. So she's around 57 tons. And the keel is filled with oil. The rudder is filled with oil. And the bottom 6 inches of the keel runs from the bow to the stern is a solid 6-inch by 6-inch piece of steel, not a beam. So we can ground the boat and wait for the tide to come back up. We're not going to hurt the hull.
Well, I think we should also say a lot of thank you to Chal, to Jessica, to Ralph Gonzalez, and to RG Adams, to Morris. Thank you guys so much for watching, just in case if you're already leaving, because I know there is pretty late in some places that you are watching us. Do you have a OP box if someone were to send you something? Just wondering.
What was that?
See what I'm saying? I read something to him and he's like, huh? Because he's reading.
All right.
Yes, we do have an address. We don't have a box, but because William has a shop in the marine and engineering shop, the marine address usually works. Actually, someone sent us a letter, a handwritten letter, and that was pretty wonderful. So you can send us something to the Marina email, PO box, not a PO box, but to Marina address with a company name. If you send us an email, we will send you the address.
Yeah, actually, someone did send something, Dawn Hunters, to the Marina address, and now they all know us. There aren't many Dawn Hunters running around this marina.
No,
so
not yet.
They're like, I think this is for you, and then I'm like, okay, what's in it? So. But yeah, the mail sent to the marina, it will get to us. There was one other question there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I just saw you scan past it. You know, the best time of my career, if I look back, other than owning a company, is that I was asked to join a friend. He said, finally, you closed your company. After 9/11, I lost the company, and I sold it for $1. And a friend said, you know, now that you don't have your company, I'd like you to come work on oil rigs with me. And I drove to the rig, and when I stepped on board, I climbed a ladder, and I was 65 feet above the water, and I stood on this huge, huge deck. And I looked around, and I said, this is home. It was amazing. It was 5 stories tall. It was a 1974 oil rig that we spent $280 million. We didn't spend it. Well, yeah, we spent the money. The oil company gave us the money to refurbish it. And then I took that rig to Angola. It's currently 15 miles off the coast of Angola. I spent a lot of time there getting the rig commissioned and getting it working. We were the first company in the world to put a natural gas solar generator system on an oil rig. So the blow-by gases that were blowing in the air now powers 15 rigs. So 3 years working on the oil rigs, we had 250 employees welding and cutting and chopping. And when that rig left, we called it the Dolphin 111 because it was a rust bucket. But, you know, I fell in love with steel ships, fell in love with being on the ocean, the water. And so seeing guys from the oil patch, I know there's a saying is that when you're with 28 men offshore, when the nurse starts to look good, it's time to go home because the nurses were all guys. So, you know, 28 days on, 28 days off. It's a quite a ways to live, but beautiful off the coast of Africa or anywhere you're on a rig. So hello both to the guys from the oil patch and a special salute to all of the people that I've had shout out to us in the military. We did a Veterans Day special in one of the vlogs, and I still to this day get comments about people that were on vessels, on ships, in submarines, in the Air Force. A special salute to all of you guys and girls and everyone that's even in the background and families that have, you know, made our world, in my eyes, a safer place. So, all right.
Well, people are leaving to sleep because a lot of them are tired.
All right.
And actually, I have to feed this man at dinner because he was actually painting all day with a primer. And that was a lot. He didn't eat all day.
You have to do one thing in signing off.
No.
I just had more questions.
No.
Yes, one more thing before we
What's
go.
that? I'm not saying it.
Come on, Natasha.
No.
Boris and Natasha.
Guys, you are crazy. I'm not saying
All
it.
right. First of all, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being there. The comments are we always look at the comments when we post. Thank you for becoming a part of a very strange family that has now grown. We're very pleased that we're providing some type of comment to people and some type of input. And, you know, keep the conversations going. If you guys have boats, let us know. If you want boats, let us know. You know, it's just been amazing that you know, we have what, almost 8,000
Yes, about
subscribers, and we know that our demographics are from age 45 to 85. So we're figuring that there's a lot of people out there that don't really subscribe, but we know that you're there because we're getting a lot of hits and a lot of comments. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, RG Adams. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, BGD 940. Yes, we know you are patron now. I have you saved. I have you burnt in my memory, this nickname. Thank you, David. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Oliver, Tom, Sea Travel, and all of you who watched. Thank you so much for stopping by, for dedicating this 1 hour and 25 minutes of your time to us. I'm gonna go get this man a soup that I cook. I think I didn't turn the stove off. Actually, I hear it running.
Is that why I'm roasting in here?
Yes, I think so.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
Have a safe and blessed weekend.
Yes. Bye, guys. We talk to you soon with the new episode on Thursday.
Yes. Bye.
And we're also gonna do back Q&As in the end of our videos, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we're
correct.
gonna bring them back. So any questions, leave them here, and we will answer in the next videos.
Check out that All Things Boating place.
It's a channel. It's not a place. Yes, on Tuesday going to be a live talk about lithium batteries. So if you're into that, he will be talking, and I might show up and say hi. All right, cheers, guy. Bye. Bye, Jessica. Bye, Timothy. Bye, Joel. Bye, Stephen, Larry, Mike, Jessica, John, and all of you. Thank you. Bye.